recuse himself. I'm joined now by Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell of California, member of the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, your reaction to the notion the president may indeed fire the Attorney General?
He should go, Chris, for other reasons, not because he hasn't been loyal to the president, because he has had a problem, I think, being loyal to the amount of forthcoming information you have to give to the Senate. Twice when he was asked about his contacts with Russia, he didn't disclose them. He participated in the firing of former FBI Director James Comey. I think for those reasons, he should go. But also, Chris, some people say, well, why would you want to get rid of him? He's recused. Isn't that better than who Trump could put in? Actually, now is a time for the Senate, especially Republican leaders there, to put a check on this presidency, to put a true law enforcement official in there, no relation to the president's campaign, and allow this investigation to proceed.
So this is interesting. You are in line with a call made by the Congressional Black Caucus today that Attorney General Sessions is unfit to serve. The top law enforcement official in the nation should resign from the position immediately. As the saying goes, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. The concern expressed by Democrats, which you just alluded to, is, of course, this would be the first set in dominoes to get rid of Mueller, which many people believe is the president's ultimate goal. And he's shown in relieving James Comey of duty, he's willing to do something like that to stop the investigations that he views as unfair witch hunts.
Yeah, and Chris, I would see this as this should be the first set of dominoes to have Republicans in the Senate show some courage, to show that we are a co-equal branch of that Congress is a co-equal branch of government with the presidency, and that we are not helpless to what this president wants to do to obstruct the investigation. That's what I would like to see, and that would be the opportunity if Jeff Sessions was fired.
Speaking of the investigation, today Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law, chief advisor, gave some, I wouldn't call it testimony, I guess answered some questions for the Senate Intel Committee. We'll have some more a little later in the show about his comments. But since I have you here right now, you're going to be speaking with Mr. Kushner tomorrow in a closed session. Can you explain for me, because I'm unclear about how this all ended up. He's not under oath, but he's going to talk to you, and he can't lie to Congress. Lying to Congress is a crime nonetheless, right?
Yeah, I wish it was in public. I wish he had to raise his right hand for everyone to see. And there are fair questions out there about just the number of contacts that he and people on the Trump campaign had with Russia. And Chris, if you just take a step back, you're running for president of the United States. You need votes in the United States. Why this campaign had so many meetings, not just with Russia, but just any country. Why would you spend so much time doing that, I think, is fair to ask.
Jared, one thing Jared Kushner said today that I'd like to get your response to. He said, I had no improper contacts. He said this on the record outside the White House. It seems to me that there's a case to be made that the meeting itself with the Russian lawyer, with a variety of Russian nationals, the express purpose of which was to trade information from the Russian government on Hillary Clinton, would itself constitute an improper act. Do you believe and or trust what Jared Kushner says about these things?
Tomorrow, what we must do is corroborate what he has said or be able to discredit what he has said, because he, like others in the Trump administration, have shown by their own failures to disclose that we can't take them at their word. And so that's our job now, is to test and develop the evidence and then make a report to the American people.
What is your theory, Congressman, of why it is that Jared Kushner left off those meetings with Russian nationals, why it is that Jeff Sessions apparently obfuscated or deceived about the nature of his interactions, first the existence of interactions with Sergei Kislyak, and then the nature? What is your internal working mental theory about this right now?
Yeah, well, my gut tells me that if this was only one person who failed to disclose one contact, that there are a lot of innocent explanations as to why that may be. But to have so many people who had so many contacts with Russia that were not disclosed and have only been acknowledged, overwhelming evidence has been presented, tells me that we better keep probing, because these don't look like coincidences. But again, Chris, our job is to get through all this evidence, make a report. Again, they may just be 1,000 coincidences, but until we can ask all of these witnesses questions after reviewing all the documents, I still have a lot of questions.
All right, Congressman Eric Swalwell, thanks for making time tonight.
My pleasure.